JP, you're going first?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. All right, JP's introduction in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Every time you check your text, call your mom, or simply play a game, you have to think one invention that changed the world as we know, the telephone. The telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell on February 14, 1876. The telephone allows you to communicate instantly with any person in the world. The telephone is the most influential invention in history. The first reason why the telephone has had the most impact is that it made our lives much easier. Our lives changed a lot after the creation of the telephone, because it led to the invention of the smartphone. Having a smartphone not only means instant communication with anyone, it has a camera, compass, games, notes, calculator, watch, maps, and more. The smartphone allowed people to have all these gadgets in one simple and small device. The second reason that makes the telephone the most impactful invention in history is that it was the first invention that allowed humans to communicate instantly with others. Before the invention of the telephone, people communicated with letters. This wasn't a very efficient way of communication because it took a lot of time to get the answer back. The telephone allowed people to communicate instantly with almost any person in the world. The telephone also led to many services that did not exist before, like ordering food, getting an ambulance, calling the cops, and more. The third reason why the telephone has had the most impact is because it created one of the biggest industries in the world. The telephone industry produces millions of telephones each year. It's estimated that there are around 7.2 billion cell phones around the world. Each year, millions of these phones are thrown away, contributing greatly to climate change. The telephone also created many jobs that did not exist before. It also ended some jobs. The telephone industry also increased metal needs by almost 9 times. A big problem with telephones is that they're programmed to stop working at a certain time, making you buy a new phone and polluting more. All these reasons make the telephone the most influential invention in history. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Now, Miguel, your introduction. Ready, Jackie? Yeah. In 3, 2, 1, and go.
Imagine you have business deal in another country in the world. It's impossible going by car or any other way. The only form you can go is by airplane. You take it or leave it. The first successful airplane was created in 1902 by Orville and Wilbur Wright. Now, with the passage of the years, the airplane's invention is one of the transportation most used in the world. So, the airplane's invention has had more impact in the world. The first reason why the airplane has had more impact in the world is that it's one of the most used transport and always used by thousands of people to travel for many reasons, like tourism. Before the airplane was harder for people to travel from one place to another. People needed to use horses or boats, and it took longer for them to get to their destiny. Another thing is that you can visit your family if they live in a long place from you, and you can visit other places in the world for many things. Also, an example is that people go to visit the place, and thanks to it, like there's tourism, so the economy from that place goes up. The second reason why airplane has had more impact in the world is that airplanes helps cultures meet. If you go back in time, there were specific small groups, and they were stayed in their hometown. They didn't combine with other people, and thanks to the airplane now, more people can travel, and also that's why there are different groups with different cultures all over the world. The third reason why the airplane is an invention that has had more impact in the world is that people attack from long distances like in wars, and also it causes problems to the environment. Also, airplane has a big impact to history and to the earth in a bad way. An example is in World War I and II. Since there were airplanes, armies took advantage of them so they could attack easier, and they couldn't be attacked back because they attacked from the long distances. This was a very good technique, but it was inefficient, but it killed many people and houses were destroyed. Also, another bad way the airplane has impact to the earth is it pollutes. It pollutes. It throws carbon dioxide to the environment because the gas is burned. What I have read told you about how much the airplane has impact in the world and all the possible ways, like the environment, people, culture, etc. So after all, the airplane is an invention that has had more impact in the world.
And go.
My opponent stated that the plane had environmental issues. However, the telephone has had more impact on the environment because all the telephones and smartphones that have been created have been thrown into the trash. Since 1876, billions of cell phones and smartphones have been thrown away. But not only cell phones have been thrown away, also all the telephone wiring and phone cases. Another way in which the telephone contaminates is that all the materials used in the construction have to be mined, and mining is one of the most polluting industries in the world. My opponent said that the plane is the best transportation method, but there are other transportation methods that are cheaper and more efficient than the airplane, like car, train, and truck. There are currently 1.2 billion cars and only 35,600 planes. The plane isn't the most efficient way of transportation. The car is. My opponent argued that the airplane mixed cultures, but the smartphones has also mixed cultures because by having a smartphone you can learn about all the different cultures in the world with one simple click. There's no need to travel with a smartphone. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Miguel. In 3, 2, 1, and go.
My opponent stated that the phones pollute a lot to the environment. However, the airplanes pollutes approximately 438 billion times more, according to the ATAG Air Transport Action Group. The airplane produced 781 billion kilograms of carbon dioxide in 2015, and the phones industries produced 16 kilograms of carbon dioxide, according to the ethical consumer. My opponent said that telephones changed our lives in the way of how we communicate. But before the airplane, there was the telegraph that was the best way to communicate in those times. It was very efficient, and mostly all the people used it since it was very good and almost all the times it worked. My opponent argued that the phones makes our lives easier, but the airplanes also makes our lives much easier since it allows us to do many things. Some examples are that we can travel for business, vacation, visiting someone else, etc. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. And go.
My opponent said that the telegraph was more efficient than the telephone. However, the telephone is much more efficient than the telegraph because the telegraph can only deliver very short messages and it was really expensive. My opponent claimed that the plane made our lives easier, but the telephone made our lives much easier because it helped us communicate instantly with any person in the world. On the other hand, the plane only helped us transport faster. My opponent said that the plane polluted more than the telephone. However, the telephone has been polluting our ground for a much longer period of time. The telephone has polluted the ground like no other invention on earth. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Miguel. Your response. In 3, 2, 1, and go.
My opponent said that the telephone has more environmental issues than the airplane. However, the airplane pollutes 438 billion of carbon dioxide times more than the telephone. My opponent claimed that the telephone has a bigger impact in mixed cultures. But now, you can learn from other places just by a click. You don't know if the internet is always correct. And if you go to other places in the world, it's even more efficient and it has multiple sources to learn about new cultures. My opponent said that there are other best and cheaper transportation methods than the airplane. However, if you want to go to other parts of the world, you can't go by train, truck, or car.
And go.
The telephone made our lives much easier because it gave us a lot of different gadgets in one simple and small device. The plane changed the way we move, the telephone how we live. The telephone allowed us to communicate instantly with any person in the world. The telephone revolutionized communication. The plane did not affect our communication. The telephone created one of the biggest industries in the world, polluting a lot. The plane has also polluted, but the telephone has polluted the ground for much more time. The telephone is the most influential invention in history. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Miguel, your conclusion. In 3, 2, 1, and
With
go.
the airplane, you can literally travel to other parts of the world. With the telephone, you can travel to Google Maps. That's the same as flying to other parts of the world. What telephone has that it does let you know and learn about many things from other places in the world. But the airplane is more efficient since you can go specifically to that place and learn and visit all the places you want to know about. Both airplane and telephone pollute the environment. Because of it, many people and animals die or get sick because of the pollution. However, the airplane pollutes 430 of carbon dioxide times more. After the reasons I have told you about the airplane, you should know which is the invention that has caused more impact. So after all, the airplane is the invention that has caused more impact in the world.
Thank you.